There is a report out that says if you took all of the data that will be produced on the World Wide Web this year alone, burned them to DVDs, and stacked those DVDs one on top of the other, they would reach halfway to Mars. Right? We are talking about an extraordinary amount of information that people have to cull through, and search has become inadequate. I mean, as good as Google is, and as much as they keep tightening up the algorithm, you do a search on employee communication strategy, and you're going to end up with hundreds of thousands of pages. And there's no guarantee that what you're looking for will actually be on the home page. That might be what has been best optimized for search by an agency that was hired, but still not what you're looking for. The problem is not information overload, according to Clay Shirky. The problem is filter failure. Search engines no longer provide an adequate filter to the information you're looking for, and therefore people are starting to turn their attention to curators. These are experts who will cull through all of the various resources that are out there and present you with the best stuff. Andy Carvin works for NPR. And over the years, he cultivated resources in Tunisia. He got to know academics and politicians and activists and students. And when the Jasmine Revolution started, he started following their tweets, their blog posts, their YouTube uploads, and he used a product here called Storify, Storify.com, one of many, many, many content curation tools out there. This one happens to be free. It's in public beta. And basically what he has, along the left-hand side, are a list of resources, Google, Twitter, YouTube, and the like. And he'll type in a search term, and when he finds what he's looking for, he drags it into his story and then publishes. So what you end up with here is a timeline of the best, most reliable, most credible stuff from sources that this journalist has already vetted and determined are credible. And it's a collection of blog posts and tweets and videos that serves as a chronology of the Jasmine Revolution that you can use just to go see that history, but you can also use it as a source of your reporting, certainly what the reporters at NPR did. I like it. So on my site, I have several Storify stories in my resources section. This happens to be the one on social media research and studies. People are always asking me, where do you get these numbers? I'd love to know where you get these numbers. So every time I find a study now that has a statistic in it or some trend, rather than just write about it, I'll also drag it into my social media research and studies story, and you can get to that from the homepage of my site. And it's just embedded, because Storify stories, you can get the embed code and put them anywhere. I have one on supporting the idea of employee access to social media. And I have that both on my website and my stopblocking.org website. The process of curation is not aggregation. We're not talking about collecting links. Right? You tell a museum curator, a collection curator, that what they do is they go out and buy a bunch of stuff and nail it to the wall. They're going to laugh at you. There's a lot more to the curation process. In a very, very simplified overview of curation, you have to identify the good stuff. You have to put it in the right collection. You have to document it. And this is the stuff you go into a museum and you see a painting and there's a card next to the painting and it has, here's the artist and it was painted in 1827 during his Cubist period and it's acrylic on wood. That's documentation, and it provides context to the material that you're looking at. So adding that context is important, and then displaying, distributing. There are a lot of other elements to this. A ton has been written. In fact, there's a great book on content curation called Curation Nation by Steve Rosenbaum, who runs a curation site called magnify.net that is for curating video. I have a video curated site going on magnify.net about luggage. I'm thinking one day I'm going to start a curated resource on business travel, road warriors, since I'm on the road half the time. And I'm just starting with not companies' videos, but Chris Brogan up there saying, I just got this Eagle Creek suitcase. Awesome if you're on the road all the time. Let me show you what I love about it. So far I have 5 or 6 of those, and we'll see. I might find the time to really beef that up. Okay. Curation is when you do a blog post that is 300 social media statistics, or 30 great resources for graphic designers, or 15 explanations of this particular legislation that everybody's in an uproar over. Just pulling those resources together. This is known as a guide or a super guide. This is another tool called Pearl Trees, another free curation resource where what you do is you create these pearls. So this person has created a pearl tree around travel guides. She has found travel guides that she likes, that she trusts, that she thinks has good stuff on it. If she is your trusted guide, you would go around and say, I'm heading to Boston, and she has found this 25 Boston activities that don't cost a lot of money, and that's where you'll go, rather than go to Google and search for Boston travel advice. Your organization has the ability to become the trusted guide by curating the best content that's out there. I don't know if any of you read Reagan Communications PR Daily, prdaily.com. They have a staff that goes out onto the web. They find what they consider to be the best stuff out there dealing with PR and communications and internal communications. And the staff write these little articles that offer their own take on what they found, but primarily it's a link to the original source. And the idea here is that you don't need to go check 900 RSS feeds in order to see what's going on in communication. You read PR Daily every day, these 8, 10, or 11 articles that we cover every day, you're going to know everything that's going on that's important in the world of organizational communications. I also read one from Smart Brief on healthcare marketing. This is the same idea, except this is a company that's making their entire living curating content in different categories. Lots and lots and lots of categories. They have editorial staff that they've hired and volunteer staff. Their social media, Smart Brief, is curated partly by Andy Cernovitz, the founder of the Word of Mouth Marketing Association, on a volunteer basis, in addition to the full-time paid staff that they have out there. Curation tools can be anything from free to a whole bunch of money. These are some of the ones that are being used by corporations and institutions right now. And you can see some of them are reasonably priced. Curation Station, 99 bucks a month, no big deal. On the other hand, some of them get very pricey. Equentia can run up to 25 grand a year. There are also several of them that are completely free. Pop URLs, UPS maintains a Pop URL site of business news for their customers. So they're curating the best business news that they think that people who are UPS B2B customers would be interested in. But I think it'll be instructive to look at a few curation sites that are being used by mainstream organizations. This is called Pet Charts. It's from Purina. And I can't tell you which of the paid curation tools each of these uses, but every one of these examples, with one exception, is using one of those tools that I showed you that has a fee associated with it. They're pulling in the best stuff that they can find dealing with pets. That includes cat photos and cat videos, but also blog posts about veterinary issues. You can see the different categories: top stories, top photos, top videos, and you can look at today's, the last 7 days, the last 30 days, or ever since we started doing this. This is the one that's not using one of those tools. This is Clorox. And what they're doing, working with Federated Media, is curating daily the best of the mommy blogs. Mommy blogs are hugely influential. They get more views than the women's magazines, you know, the Good Housekeeping and McCall's and Redbook. The mommy blogs are beating those publications up. And so what they're doing now, Clorox being a company that sells products primarily to women, is curating the best of the mommy blogs. Now, some people might think the mommy bloggers would be upset about this. You're leveraging for your business our content. But if you want to read the whole thing, you click it and it takes you to their blog. It introduces you to their media property, right? Serves as a page view for them. And Mark Cuban, the current NBA championship owner, I don't like Mark Cuban because he said curators are vampires. He said they're sucking the blood out of the content creators. But these days, with the volume of content we have out there, without curation, how are people going to find the content that you made? Right? So by being a curator, you're not only becoming the trusted guide to the really, really good content for your audience, but you're also driving traffic